If one of your goals is to improve your health and you're ready to step into your wellness girl era, then this video is for you. I am really passionate about optimizing my health and wellness. I'm always doing research and always learning new things to try to improve my energy, my focus, the way I feel in my body, and also just my overall health. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 10 of my healthy girl habits that have seriously changed my life. These habits have helped me feel more connected and more in tune with my body. They've allowed me to feel more energized and more productive and more focused, and really overall just have allowed me to show up better for myself and for the people in my life. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Natalia, and this is the second video of my December series called Glowmas, where I am helping you glow from the inside and out in preparation for the new year. So if you like these kinds of videos, definitely make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the little notification bell, and without further ado, let's get into it. So the first habit that I want to start with is reducing my added sugar intake. I actually started doing this a couple of years ago when I was on a journey of naturally healing my hormones. I had really bad PMS symptoms and my cycles were also really long, so I wanted to figure out a way to naturally heal my hormones because, of course, the only thing suggested to me was birth control. And something that I found in my own experience is that reducing my added sugar intake really helped with my PMS symptoms, with my hormonal acne, and also my mental health. Like, I really notice a difference when I have too much added sugar. And if you look it up, the recommended daily dosage for added sugar intake for women is 25 grams a day, which is crazy because a can of Coke has 39 grams of added sugar. Like, that is actually crazy. And once I started going on this journey of reducing my added sugar intake, that's when I realized just how much added sugar is in literally everything. And I've noticed for myself how addicting sugar can be, and how the more I have it, the more I actually crave it. Whereas if you put yourself on an added sugar detox, you will notice a difference. After a couple of days, you will no longer crave it. So anytime I go through a period of time where I'm like eating a lot of sweets, I will force myself to just do a detox of limiting my added sugar. I never like to completely reduce my added sugar. Maybe I'll do that one day. I just have a little bit of difficulty with all or nothing mentality, especially when it comes to food. So I don't really like to restrict, and I'm going to get into that later on, but I will definitely reduce my added sugar and keep it under 10 grams a day whenever I feel like I need a detox. But really the only time I have added sugar is in my coffee. I will have, creamer in my coffee because I just cannot drink plain black coffee. I'm sorry, that is not something I can do. But for the most part, I try to sweeten things with natural sweeteners like honey, cinnamon, or fruit even. Fruit is a really great way to sweeten up something. And something else that I've been doing is I've been having these Greek yogurt bowls like every single day, and they're so good. And I get the non-fat Greek yogurt that's plain so that there's no added sugar in it. And to sweeten it, I'll put chocolate protein powder, which has very little added sugar in it. And like, that is just so much better than getting like the vanilla flavored yogurt that has like 20 grams of added sugar. The second healthy habit that I have incorporated into my life is getting an Oura ring. So I've had my Oura ring for 6 months now, and I love it so much. It is seriously one of my favorite purchases. I think it is such a good investment into your health. It gives you so much data, and I've talked about this in a previous video of mine, how it completely changed my relationship with alcohol. Like, I genuinely have no interest in drinking alcohol. It is not worth it to me to drink alcohol because I see a dip in my numbers so drastically. And what I love about my Oura ring is that it tracks your steps, it tracks your sleep, it tracks your stress, it tracks your heart rate. And something that I just learned recently is that one of the really important numbers to look out for on your Oura ring is the heart rate variability. And I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical research person, so I will not do it justice if I try to explain it, but definitely look into that if you have an Oura ring, because that's something I'm going to work on increasing, because the higher your heart rate variability, the better your health is. I actually learned this on TikTok recently, and now I want to be a little bit more intentional about increasing that number. I also really love tracking my sleep. Having an Oura ring has really opened my eyes to how important sleep really is. If my sleep score is low, automatically my readiness score is low for the day, which, if you're not familiar, the readiness score is basically your ability to take on the day. So the higher your readiness score, the more energized you'll feel, the better you'll feel to be able to do things throughout your day. So if I have a night where I don't sleep a lot, like I only get 4 or 5 hours or 6 hours of sleep, my readiness score is so low and I can feel it. Usually I need a nap that day. So it's just been really cool to be able to see all of this data and start making changes to improve my numbers, and actually seeing how making certain lifestyle changes can improve the numbers. It's almost like a fun little game, like figuring out how to increase my sleep score, figuring out how to increase my heart rate variability. And then it makes it so easy for me to cut out alcohol because I see how much it actually affects your health. The next healthy habit that has completely changed my life is incorporating hot yoga and Pilates at least 1 to 2 times a week. I've been practicing yoga for, I want to say 3 years now, and I actually got into yoga because I sprained my ankle while I was hiking. But when I tell you, it was literally just me stepping on a rock and then I sprained my ankle. And after that, I realized how important it is to strengthen your joints for mobility purposes. And I realized, like, if I can easily sprain my ankle at 25 years old, imagine what's going to happen in 20 years from now if I don't take care of my joints and my mobility and I don't stretch. So immediately I started watching YouTube videos on yoga flows. So I really love Yoga with Cassandra. I also really love Move with Nicole. She does a lot of Pilates videos. I recommend, if you've never done yoga before, to start with YouTube videos. I remember when I first got into yoga, I tried to go to a couple of yoga classes and I was so lost. I had no idea what I was doing. And if you're the type of person who likes feeling lost and likes figuring it out as you go, like, go ahead and go to a yoga class and figure it out. But I really do think it's so much easier if you start on YouTube. So I would just watch like 10-minute yoga videos at the end of my workouts. And after doing that for a couple of months, I started to know the poses and like know the names of them, know how to be in like the correct form for the poses. And then I felt more confident to actually go into a yoga class. So now I go weekly to a hot yoga class and I absolutely love it. If you're not familiar, hot yoga is a yoga class where they just bump up the temperature in there. Like, it's usually at like 95 degrees, 100 degrees, and it feels like a sauna. Like, you leave hot yoga sweating and it is the best feeling ever, honestly. I just really love yoga because it is such a fun form of movement. And it also really helps, especially if you lift weights in the gym. Pilates and yoga both really help to stretch your muscles. It's really good for muscle recovery. And I've noticed such a difference. Like, if I go a couple of days without doing yoga or without doing Pilates, it feels like my joints are just a little bit stiff. So I definitely recommend getting into yoga or getting into Pilates, doing some form of stretching, especially if you lift weights. I think it just allows you to go deeper in your movements. Next healthy habit is intuitive/mindful eating. So I did want to just put a quick little trigger warning here for anybody who suffers with eating disorders or anything like that to maybe skip past this part of the video. I actually got into intuitive eating 3 years ago when I realized that I had a really unhealthy relationship with food and my body as a result of diet culture and constantly being in like this diet mentality, constantly feeling like I had to eat less, and I would participate in just very unhealthy behaviors to try to get as small as possible. So 3 years ago, I actually discovered intuitive eating. There's a book, but then there's also a series on YouTube created by Abby Sharp, and that series was really helpful. I recommend that to anybody who is struggling with their relationship with food. It really allowed me to build a healthier relationship with food. And I also learned a lot about myself in the process. I learned that for me, like I said earlier in the video, I don't do well with restriction. So I choose not to restrict anything in my diet. Like, if I want something, I will allow myself to have it. The difference with intuitive eating and mindful eating is that it's not just you eat whatever you want whenever you want. It's about tuning in with your body and asking if that's really what you want and if that's what's going to make you feel the best. And sometimes the answer is yes, that is what you really want, and it probably isn't going to make you feel that good, but just making that active choice. Also, with intuitive and mindful eating, you're checking in with your body constantly. So while you're eating, you're checking in and asking your body, like, how do I feel? How is this food making me feel? Do I want to continue eating? And in that process, I've actually learned that I feel best when I stop around like 80% of fullness. If I push myself to eat to 100% fullness, I will feel very sluggish. I'll feel bloated. I just don't feel my best. So I usually stop eating around 80% fullness. But again, this is just something that you learn when you begin to mindfully eat. And also with my own journey, I've noticed that it helps for me to be an intuitive eater while still maintaining healthy habits with my eating by starting with tracking first. So I've gone through periods of time where I will track everything that I'm eating, and I feel like that is such a good thing to do because it just makes you more aware of the macronutrients that are in food, and you start to realize like how many calories really are in the food that we consume. I remember the first time I started tracking intentionally was when I was trying to lose weight, and I had been going to the gym for like an entire month, and I thought that I was eating really healthy. So I was like, what is going on? Like I was only gaining weight. I wasn't losing any weight. So I started tracking all of the food that I was eating, and I realized that I was eating way over what I should have been eating. Like the food that I was eating was so high in calories. So even though I thought it was healthy, it actually wasn't. And so going through that period of time where I was tracking everything that I ate allowed me to learn more about macronutrients and calories and all of that so that I could intuitively eat but still eat healthy. Like I don't think intuitive eating is just eat whatever you want and never care about like nutrition or health or anything like that. I think there can be a balance with it where you are eating intuitively but still eating healthy and just making sure that you're feeling good. The next healthy habit that has really changed my life is going on more walks and increasing my step count to anywhere from 10 to 15,000 steps daily. And I actually started this when I got my Oura ring. That was actually a big reason why I got an Oura ring, because I wanted to start tracking my steps. I just personally don't really like wearing anything on my wrist, which is why I didn't want to get an Apple Watch. And I had listened to this podcast where they talked about like the best fitness trackers, and they recommended the Oura ring. So that's why I ended up investing in the Oura ring, and that is really what started my whole journey of being mindful of my steps and making sure to increase my steps daily and doing more outdoor walks. And it's not even just for the purpose of increasing your steps, but going on outdoor walks is so good for your mental health. Whenever I'm feeling like super in my head, when I'm feeling down, when I'm feeling insecure, whenever there's anything going on, just going on a walk, I swear, like heals all my problems. And also what's kind of crazy, I made a TikTok about this that I can link down below about all the ways that walking 10,000 steps a day has improved my life. But something that I was very surprised about was how it reduced pain in my body. So when I sprained my ankle a couple of years ago, I don't think that it fully healed, and it led to something called plantar fasciitis, which is essentially like pain on the bottom of your feet. So earlier this year, like the pain was just so bad, and I ended up going to a holistic physical therapist, and he gave me some stretches to do, but I was nervous about increasing my step count because every time I walked, my foot would hurt more. So I invested in some really good shoes. I got my New Balance sneakers, and I started going on walks every day. And to my surprise, it actually really helped my feet pain. And I also had some lower back pain as a result of my foot injury. So that was something that I was surprised about too, is that walking helped my back pain too. And another way that I noticed that it really improved my life is that it really helps with muscle recovery. So whenever I feel really sore after a leg day or something, or even yoga, just going on a really long walk, it really helps soreness in your body. So I really recommend adding some type of walking routine, especially if you go to the gym or you do yoga, Pilates. Just adding any type of step goal is so helpful, not only for your physical health, but also your mental health as well. My next healthy habit that has completely transformed my life is eating a satiating breakfast every single day, no matter what. So I have always been a breakfast girly, like Breakfast is seriously my favorite meal of the day. I go to sleep dreaming about my breakfast. But just because I've always been a breakfast girly doesn't mean I've always been super intentional about the breakfasts that I've been eating. So recently I really started to incorporate a more satiating, high protein breakfast. And I have noticed such a difference on the days when I have a satiating breakfast versus the days that I don't. And usually on the days that I don't have a satiating high protein breakfast, I will tend to snack a lot more. Whereas whenever I start my day with at least 30 grams of protein, it really allows me to balance my hunger levels throughout the day. Like I don't feel the need to mindlessly snack. And it also really helps to stabilize my cortisol levels. That's something I've noticed as well. That whenever I fast, like if I ever do intermittent fasting and I don't eat until like later in the afternoon, like I am shaking. Like does not feel like it's good for my cortisol levels. And I don't know how healthy that is, but fasting for me just does not work. Like I need to start my day with a satiating breakfast. Like if I don't have food within at least 2-3 hours of waking up, like you do not want to be anywhere near me. The next healthy habit that I've started incorporating is swapping my coffee for matcha, especially later in my cycle. I love coffee. I probably drink coffee every single day, but something I do try to do is later in my cycle, as I'm getting closer to my period, I will swap out my daily latte for a matcha latte instead. There was a period of time when I was healing my hormones that I completely cut out all types of coffee. So lattes, cold brew, iced coffee, everything. And I would only drink matcha every single day. And I actually really noticed a difference in it healing my hormones. I think that's something that really helped. And I do still love matcha, but honestly, there's just been something about coffee lately. Like I just feel like it helps me focus a lot more. So I'm back on my coffee kick. But I do like to have matcha later in my cycle. I've noticed that it helps to reduce my PMS symptoms and it avoids really bad PMDD symptoms. So I'm pretty sure I have PMDD and I just manage it pretty well. But if I don't have healthy habits like walking and swapping out my coffee later in my cycle and reducing added sugar, those are the habits that I've noticed have the biggest impact on my PMS symptoms. The next healthy habit that has really improved my life is tracking my cycle. So when I was on the journey of healing my hormones, that's when I started tracking my cycle and really learning as much as I could about cycle syncing and cycle living. And it's something that I've been doing for years now, is tracking my cycle and just knowing what phase of my cycle I'm in, because it just really allows me to support myself throughout my cycle. I will say a mistake that I have made in this process of living by my cycle is having very negative expectations of certain cycles, specifically the luteal phase. For me, it's been a challenge with my late luteal phase because, like I said, I'm pretty sure I might have PMDD or that it comes up when I don't take care of myself. So something that I've been working through is not expecting myself to be a certain way just because it's my luteal phase, and just allowing myself to be. So instead of saying like, oh, I'm gonna be in my luteal phase, like I'm gonna be so tired, I'm not gonna be able to go to the gym, like instead of like putting that expectation on my luteal phase just because that's what usually happens, just kind of allowing for flexibility. If I don't feel like going to the gym, if I am tired, or if I want to snack more, like that's okay, but like not having those expectations that that's how I am going to be. Tracking my cycle has also really helped me to learn a lot more about myself and learn about what I need throughout the different phases of my cycle, just so that I can lean into supporting myself a lot more. So I highly recommend tracking your cycle if you don't already. Okay, the next healthy habit that has completely changed my life is having a solid sleep routine. So this is something I'm still on a journey of perfecting, is my sleep routine. Like I feel like, especially since getting my Oura ring, I've really noticed how important sleep is in how I feel day to day. So I really like to optimize my sleep as much as I can. So different things that have helped me improve my sleep is taking magnesium. I really love Calm, which is a magnesium supplement, and you can just put that in water and drink that before bed. I've also seen some people creating like a sleepy girl mocktail where they'll have the magnesium powder and then tart cherry juice before bed. Another thing that has really improved my sleep is mouth tape. I love my mouth tape. It helps to avoid mouth breathing, which I have noticed such a difference. Whenever I sleep with my mouth tape, I sleep so much better. I also try my hardest to be off of screens and off of blue light before bed, and definitely off of scrolling. It's something that I make the mistake of sometimes, but I really notice a difference when I'm off my phone for at least 2 hours before bed. And the last healthy habit that has really improved my life is actually a more recent habit that I've incorporated in like the past couple of weeks. And it kind of goes along with the habit number 9, which is all about having a solid sleep routine. So something I've been doing recently that I've really been loving is putting my phone in another room while I sleep and using my Amazon Alexa as my alarm instead of my phone. So a habit that I've really been trying to kick for the longest time is going on my phone first thing in the morning, checking my notifications, looking through my messages, hopping on social media. And I've tried everything. I've tried putting my phone on the opposite side of the room. I've tried putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. I've even downloaded the app called Opal, where it blocks out all of your apps, which that app is actually really good. I do recommend that. It has been helping me reduce my screen time. But no matter what I did, I was still checking my phone first thing in the morning. So I was like, you know what? I am just gonna completely remove this trigger. I now charge my phone in my bathroom, and I don't get up to go to the bathroom until I'm like done in my bedroom. So I will wake up and like journal and meditate and do everything I need to do in my bedroom. I'll get dressed and then I'll go to the bathroom and check my phone. So I really recommend doing that, especially if you are somebody who struggles with that habit, just like I used to, about checking your phone first thing in the morning. Just completely removing the trigger really helps so much. So if you don't have an Alexa, you can just buy an alarm clock on Amazon. They have pretty cheap ones, like $10, I'm sure, for an alarm. Or if you want to invest in something like the Hatch alarm clock, I've heard really good things about that. I am really big on balance. I believe that you can live a healthy lifestyle and be a wellness girl without restricting and without having so many rules on your life. So I really do feel like these 10 habits have allowed me to optimize my health and feel my best without feeling like I'm restricting so much. Like I'm still enjoying life and indulging when I can. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Definitely stay tuned for the rest of Glowmas. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.